Hi, I'm Sam Pierce from Swapbooks, and welcome to day 2 of our 5 common roadblocks to becoming an author and how to overcome them. So today we're going to be talking about a roadblock that is most poignant for people looking to write a business building book, and that is imposter syndrome. Feeling like a fraud is a phenomenon that plagues many successful people. Nearly every writer in history has experienced it in some form or another, including myself. Now, before I wrote my first book, Stress-Free Self-Publishing, I found myself constantly thinking, who am I to write a book on self-publishing? I've only been doing it for 5 years. I'm not an expert. And as a result of feeling and thinking that over and over again, I just kept putting it off and putting it off. What makes imposter syndrome so common is something called pluralistic ignorance. Now, this basically means that while we're each second guessing ourselves privately, we believe that we are alone in our doubts because no one else is voicing their own feelings of doubt. It leaves many of us feeling that we haven't earned our success or that our thoughts just aren't worthy of attention. Now, this feeling can be intensified by the belief that we're the only ones who feel this way. And in extreme cases, it can prevent us from sharing ideas, starting that new venture, pursuing a certain job, or, you guessed it, writing a book. Now, the good news is that there are 5 very simple tips to overcoming imposter syndrome. The first tip is to simply start a conversation. Confide about how you feel to someone you trust and ask for their opinion or their feedback. Often, just hearing that someone else has experienced similar feelings is enough to help. And the second tip is own your success. We are very good at downplaying our achievements, and we end up concentrating on what we could have done better. Instead, start focusing on the positive things and listen out and truly hear when someone pays you a compliment. It also really helps to actually list out your achievements. Write them down on paper because seeing them in black and white can often help them feel more real. The third tip is to think in the third person. British culture is synonymous with the reserved upper lip. Celebrating wins is a much more of an American phenomenon than it is here in the UK. So if you struggle with step 2 of owning your success, try thinking about those successes as if they were someone else's. Tip number 4 is understand what your strengths and weaknesses really are. Becoming more aware of what your strengths and weaknesses are allows you to concentrate on what you are good at instead of concentrating what you're bad at. Now, if you're not sure what your strengths and weaknesses are or could be, try conducting a SWOT analysis on yourself. And there are plenty of tutorials and guides and templates online for how to do this. And the final tip, and this is what I consider to be the most important, is overcome perfectionism. No one is perfect. Learn to set yourself realistic, challenging yet achievable goals, and start seeing any mistakes that you do make along the way as a learning experience. I'm going to leave you with one last thought regarding imposter syndrome, and that is a quote from my coach and mentor, Brad Burton, who says, "An expert is someone who has made all the mistakes in a given field." So don't be afraid to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and you will become the expert who has every right to write a book and set yourself apart as that go-to expert in your industry. So I hope that has helped. Come back tomorrow where we'll be talking about the 3rd roadblock in our series, which is strategy.